Could Forza Horizon 6 be based in North America or specifically the USA? This is a topic that a lot of people have been wanting me to cover for a little bit of time now. If you guys have been playing Forza for a while, you've simply been aware of the franchise, you might know that the first Forza Horizon game, Forza Horizon 1, was actually in the US state of Colorado. It was a great area, a very cool overall game, and arguably one of the best in the Forza Horizon franchise. And since then, a lot of people have been looking for Forza to go back into the US, especially since the US makes up such a big demographic of their overall player base. So when it comes to Forza Horizon 6, I've made a few different videos speculating about exactly where we can expect a location to be, which is the most likely, what information have we received or heard through leaks or developers, etc., that could lead to the most likely outcome of it being where we expect it to be. People have seen Germany. Right now, Germany is probably the most likely outcome as to where the game will be, as well as Tokyo/Japan was very possible, but the US is definitely something that is also quite possible as well, and not worth ruling out. As you know, with Forza Horizon 5, there were people talking about what game or what location they thought it was going to be for probably over a year, and virtually no one intended or at least knew it was going to be in Mexico till probably a month out of its actual release. They did a very good job concealing where the location was to be. People were so certain it was going to be here, going to be there, and then it turned out it was going to be in Mexico, and nothing is going to put it past the fact that it's very possible it can happen in Forza Horizon 6. We can receive information that's very credible that it could be Germany, a lot of hints pointing towards that, and then it could still be in the US, so it's worth considering what that could potentially look like if it were to occur. First off, irrespectively of the location, release date, what can we expect? It's very likely it will be coming out in 2025, either 2025 or 2026, 100%. And just quickly, most of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel, so if you want to help us hit 150k and stay up to date with the best Forza glitches, content, news, and more, be sure to tap that button. It really helps out a lot. I've had a lot of discussions on my channel about the concept of GTA 6. Whilst many people say Forza and GTA 6 are unrelated games, they do share a pretty big demographic. GTA 6 is going to be the biggest release of all time of any game in the entire world. So if they were to release Forza Horizon 6, let's say a month before that, GTA 6 would completely overshadow it, and vice versa. So it would want to be strategic as to when that will come out, but it doesn't mean it couldn't come out in, let's say, summer this year or autumn towards the end of the year, well before GTA 6 or well after it. Whatever works, it's very possible it will be towards the end or the second half of 2025, if not the first half of 2026 is probably going to be most common. So that's how it kind of gives an insight as to when we can expect the game to come out. Now, in terms of where it could be, if it were to be in the US, it could include locations like Miami, New York, LA, cities like this. We've already seen Colorado ticked off, and of course there are a bunch of places it could be. America's a very big landmass, but these would probably be some of the more likely bigger cities. What I think would be best would be a concept like what they did in Forza Horizon 3, where it's based in Australia, where some of it would surf as paradise, being in the Gold Coast. Then you could drive, let's say, 5 minutes out of the main area, and suddenly you'd be in the outback. That would probably be the best representation they could possibly do, where maybe there's one area like Miami or there's one area like Manhattan, but you could drive out more into more rural areas like desert land or even desert areas, parts of Nevada, LA, etc. But you could transgress between the big cities because it kind of blends the overall map to be the best of both worlds, where regardless of where you're from in America or where you'd want to drive a car in, you can explore various different areas all in the one map, and maybe DLCs could expand into more maps like what we saw with Horizon 5. There was the rural or the rally DLC which came out, which probably wasn't the most favorite DLC, but it did of course provide a bit of different terrain in Forza, which could be replicated in Horizon 6 with a fully different city or something like that. That's where perks of going with a country like the US could definitely come out, because there's so much flexibility to capitalize on that, the huge landmass, the varying climates, etc., to make an all-around game that can factor in pretty much what anyone would want in a driving game or driving free roam game like Forza Horizon 5. Now, in terms of what cars, we all know there's a great car culture in the US. Well, of course, people love the Audis, they love the Porsches, they love the Lamborghinis, etc. These would still be in the game, but there would of course be a lot of focus on the local US built cars. Of course, ones like the Hennessy custom cars, Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, Pontiac, Ram, Hummer, Jeeps, Hellcats, you can name it. There are so many options, a huge car culture in the US, which again does represent the majority demographic of Forza. So whilst a lot of people from Germany would love the German car scene, the UK, etc., it does of course from a logical standpoint make sense that developers would want to appease to their biggest demographic, which will of course do like these cars, the Ford, the Chevrolets, etc. Now, regardless of where it's going to be based, it's not like these cars would only be in America. Forza could be based in anywhere in the world, and they're still going to have the Ford, the Chevrolets, etc. But like I said, there would be a bigger focus in these areas, and there'd still of course be the other exotics from around the world as well. But there is a huge car culture in the US, which does make sense for a release. In Mexico, that wasn't really so present. There isn't a huge Mexican number of manufacturers that we saw in Forza as being overly present or overly well received in Forza, so it does make sense that this could be something that's replicated in a location like the US, or we could see in Germany, or we could see in Japan, or we did see in the UK, where there is more of a car scene. It definitely is more congruent with the location as what we've seen in the past. Now, you guys can let me know what what cars or location you want to see. Now, in terms of will the game will be on PlayStation, this is also a bit of an unrelated question I've received a little bit recently. As if you guys are aware, Forza Horizon 5 has been released to be coming out, or confirmed to be coming out on PS5 in spring in the US. So between the 20th of March to 20th of June, it will be coming out on PS5. Now, will Horizon 6 be available for PS5? It's possible. It's probably not likely. They might do the same thing they're doing now, which is basically a quick cash grab, get some money from PlayStation players, and also build hype for the next release, because all the PlayStation players will get Horizon 5. They might have never played Forza in their life. They get addicted, they like the game, and then they're incentivized to then play Horizon 6, whether that's on PC or Xbox. That's probably how the flow will go. It's what we've seen with Sea of Thieves, which is the same overall concept. Xbox-owned game, late in the lifespan, released on PlayStation. They'll probably do that for Forza Horizon 6, as it could be still contrary to the overall Xbox commercial interest to make it PS5 open as well, but who knows? It's possible. What we'll see in the next few months could probably provide more insight into that. But let me know what you guys think of USA. I think it'd be a crazy location. It's inevitable it will be US in one of the next Horizon games, and Horizon 6 is possible. Don't be so set that it will 100% be Germany or Japan, as at the end of the day, Forza could do the same thing they did Horizon 5 and pull a cat out of the hat with Mexico last minute and take everyone by surprise. So we'll keep these in mind. I'll continue to make videos talking about different locations we could expect, but let me know what you guys think down below. Like and subscribe for more.